to the evening than just 8 p.m. So I think it's going to be another one of those situations where as we're watching everything unfold, this will be adjusted. Everything will be adjusted as we kind of move through. So the big news or the update that you need to know about is the tornado watch. Along with the threat of a tornado, just strong storms in general are mixed in there. So whenever you see a tornado watch, you should automatically think just a strong thunderstorm with damaging winds and possible hail are also something to be aware of that could be happening, not just that rotation that could be taking place in the atmosphere. So let me just sort of go through a couple more graphics here and just kind of point out that the Storm Prediction Center, they're focusing more on that general threat for severe weather, and it matches up pretty close to that tornado watch that they have. You'll notice that darker green shading, that represents the 1 out of 5 risk for severe storms, and that possibility is reaching all the way down into the downtown Houston area. So certainly an isolated severe storm, meaning damaging wind, large hail, even a tornado possibility, would be all the way into the downtown Houston area. That yellow shading, which is starting just to Huntsville and then headed north, including College Station, that yellow shading is that 2 out of 5 risk for a severe storm. And I'll go ahead and just sort of pull this down and show you that for the rest of the today and tonight, the orange shading there is that level 3 out of 5 risk. And you can see that that's already where a lot of the storm activity is happening. So we'll sort of get back into some live radar here in just a minute. But this is a Futurecast product that I'm showing you right now. So this isn't live radar, this is a Futurecast. And you can see how those storms in the early AM hours, like 1 or 2 a.m., or even as late as 9 or 10 o'clock at night, are going to be skirting across some of those northern areas. And like I said, this is one computer model. Some other computer models are sort of favoring things in a different way. This is what we currently have happening across the state of Texas right now. You can see that warm air down along the coast. That's moisture-rich air as well. That slightly cooler air when we've got 70 degrees in Abilene and 60 in Amarillo. That is a lot drier air for sure, and again, slightly cooler. So where those things are meeting up, that very moisture-rich and warm air and that cooler and drier, where those meet is a volatile area. That's where we're seeing the strong storms forming right now. And again, kind of diving into things even a little bit closer of where the action is happening. It's more or less around the Dallas area is what we're going to be looking at. And you can kind of sort of just zoom in a little bit here and see that there's just storms all across. I'm going to dive in just a minute and look at the current watches and warnings that are happening. But for right now, just kind of know that the Dallas area is really getting hit very hard with those strong storms. And this line of storms, we'll have to see exactly how it's going to try to hold itself together as we continue to move on through. So if we kind of just take kind of a look here at where those storms are right now, don't necessarily need an arrow on the end of that right at the moment, but just sort of take that line of storms and they're going to be headed down to the south, and that's where we've got the interaction with the Fox 26 viewing area and why we have the watch that's been issued from the National Weather Service. So let's just go ahead and take a minute and talk about what is happening right now in the Houston area. We've talked about it being warm, and look at the radar. It's pretty quiet out there right now. There's not a lot happening in Houston. We've got some isolated little showers and downpours. When I drove into work this morning, I drove through like literally a 2-minute downpour, and then it was over with. And maybe you've seen that kind of activity as well today. We're not looking for the severe storms until later on. If you do see some rain, it'll be showers and isolated little downpours, kind of what I was talking about, and we'll have obviously those warmer conditions as well. I do want to just back up one more time here and talk about that tornado watch that we're looking at. That's where we've got the National Weather Service issuing this officially until 8 p.m. And as I mentioned, I'm not here to create debate or to disagree with the National Weather Service, but I do think that's optimistic as far as when the threat ends. I think that moving into the overnight hours, even later in the evening, there will be some strong storms. They might not have the rotation that's necessary for a tornado watch, but I just want you to know that even though this officially ends at 8 p.m., I think 9, 10, even up to midnight, we're still looking at the possibility to see those isolated storms bring some strong activity. Might not be rotating, but a downpour or lots of thunder and lightning, maybe some hail, maybe some strong sort of gusty winds that are kind of mixed in there. So want to spend a couple more minutes just kind of doing a little bit of a tour of what's happening on the radar at the moment. And so I'll switch over to a different computer here to kind of show you that. That large red shading that you see is the tornado watch. And behind that, meaning further to the north and to the south, you're going to see some green shading. So let me just highlight some things here for you. That's the tornado watch, that large shading that we're looking at. Let me close this down. We don't need that on. So we see the large shading there of the tornado watch. Behind that in the green, we have the flood watch. So all these storms creating quite a bit of rainfall. And then as we move in, and again, it's stressing, this is well north of the Fox 26 viewing area. This is happening in North Texas right now. But this large area here is a severe thunderstorm warning. And then if you really get fine-tuned down in here, you'll notice, and we're even leaving the state of Texas now, but it's same line of storms, we've got a tornado warning that's happening along this boundary. So this is that boundary of that very moisture-rich, warm air, that drier, cooler air. Most of the strongest of the storms are happening just outside of the Texas area, actually, although down here near Corsicana, there is a severe thunderstorm warning that's also in effect, with those heavy downpours and those strong winds that are kind of rolling on through that area. So let me go ahead and take a minute to kind of give a quick review, let you know where we are in the situation right now. I hope you're a regular viewer here with Fox Local, so you know coming up at 2 o'clock, we're going to have Houston live and local coming up at 2 p.m. And I'm sure us folks in the weather department are going to get to be a part of that as well. And then we'll be back, of course, for an official 4 p.m. weather update. But for now, just know that things have been upgraded. The stakes have been upgraded a little bit here to where a tornado watch has been issued. Again, nothing happening at the moment in Houston. It is pretty quiet, as a matter of fact. But our northern counties are certainly going to be an area to watch later on tonight as the storms become more active. We'll always keep you updated right here. In the meantime, though, we'll be back here as part of the 2 o'clock Houston Live and Local. We'll see you then.